This is the Russian Dynamite, Masha Slamovich.
Becca here.
This is not America's Sweetheart, Davian. And
It's Billy Starks. And
the super fly guy, Trayvon Jordan.
This is the fly side fly, Jalen Brandon.
Hardcore Princess Jules Malone.
Hi there, this is the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole.
This is the Brazilian Wonder Woman, Christy Jane.
This is the baddest black belt, Chennai Kai.
This is Kid Bandit.
The smash hit Joel Bateman.
This is Robin Renegade.
Cody Hawk.
Brutal Bob Evans. And you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment, one of my favorite podcasts in the whole wide world.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the exceptional Charlie Joseph, and you are watching Wrestling with Entertainment.
Hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today. The trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Card. I'm, of course, your host, James J. And it's a great day for wrestling, because we are wrestling with the exceptional Charlie Joseph.
That would be me. I'm the exceptional Charlie Joseph. You can find me on Instagram at exceptional_CJ, on Twitter at exceptional_CJ, and on Facebook at the exceptional Charlie Joseph.
Awesome. And how are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. We just had a huge show last night. Sold out, 500 people in the Penticton Trading Convention Center. Wasn't on the card, but still good.
And, I mean, just having 500 people in the same place for a pro wrestling event is incredible at this point, considering, we had no arena matches, like maybe just even a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
And, of course, all of your social media will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. You got merchandise?
I just got 8x10s. I can mail those out. I don't have any t-shirts or anything yet. I'm working on those. Just have 8x10s for now.
All right.
But more merchandise will be coming soon.
All right, stay tuned. So let's get into it. You work for ASW and Thrash Wrestling. Can you tell us about your relationship with those companies?
Yeah, Thrash Wrestling. It's a promotion that I consider to be my home base, kind of like the home promotion for me. They operate all around the Okanagan, Kelowna, Penticton, Kamloops, Osoyoos, Vernon, anywhere in the interior, we're there. And we've been expanding up to the Kootenays. We're in Nelson. Yeah, it's really grown over the last probably 5 years that I've been with the company. And then All Star Wrestling just took over new management, being run by Odin Rex, Thunder from Jalunder. And it's exciting to see All Star, the direction they're going with the new owners compared to Michelle Starr when he was running it. And yeah, those are my two primary promotions right now. I also work for a few other promotions, but those two are the main ones. And Thrash Wrestling is doing great. Yeah, we just, like I said, we had a show last night in Penticton, 500 people, sold out, convention center. And that was without even bringing in any big names or any like former WWE guys. It was just us putting on a show, and the city came out and showed up. And yeah, Thrash Wrestling and All Star have been two great promotions for my career.
And correct me if I'm wrong, you've been going to Thrash Wrestling even before you were a pro wrestler, when you were still a teenager, correct?
Oh yeah, I've been going to local independent wrestling shows since I was probably 14. I didn't really know independent wrestling was a thing until I was walking to school one day and I saw a poster on a pole by the 7-Eleven by my house for Thrash Wrestling at the Schubert Center, and I was like, "There's other wrestling other than the WWE? What?" So I was going to go to that show, but it got canceled due to other reasons. But yeah, I've been going to shows since I was 14, kept sticking around until they finally just accepted me, because they were like, all right, this kid's not going to go away. He wants to wrestle.
And how does that feel? Like, obviously going to the show as a fan, and then, so many years later, obviously going to the shows, meeting the wrestlers, getting the autographs, and now so many years later, actually competing in those same buildings, and now kids are coming up to you for autographs.
Yeah, it's really cool to look back on when I used to go to these shows as a fan, and a lot of the wrestlers I would go and watch, I'm fighting them now, and it's kind of cool to look back and think, I see these guys and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy, and then next thing you know, I'm in there kicking them in the face, and they're doing the same to me. It's really sometimes whenever I'm not feeling the best about wrestling, I like to look back on, all right, I used to be a fan and I've done all these things already, and here I am. And it's definitely a different experience being a fan compared to being in there. There's a lot more stresses and anxieties that come with being a pro wrestler compared to just being a fan watching it, but it's totally worth it.
And I get what you mean. Maybe I'm not being interviewing wrestlers. I get that that anxiety myself.
Yeah.
All right. Before you were exceptional, you were a referee.
Yes, I was.
Can you tell us about what you learned being the third man in the ring that really helped you, when you've actually stepped in as a performer?
Refereeing was I honestly think it was very beneficial towards my wrestling career and experience now. When I was a referee, it was a lot of learning ring awareness and where everyone is, and positioning and all that stuff, timing. Kind of gave me I guess, kind of a rough draft to get used to it and kind of feel how it's supposed to go, and then it's all right. I kind of get this component of it now, so it wasn't as hard to step into the wrestling role because I already had that background in refereeing and doing all types of matches with all sorts of people. You learn from everyone. Everyone has a different piece of knowledge, and that contributed to my reffing, which just translated into wrestling. And I actually kind of miss reffing sometimes. It's a lot easier.
You don't get kicked in the face as much.
Yeah, exactly.
And you said, different type of matches. You refereed a death match, no?
I have referee death matches, yes.
I mean, it's dangerous for the wrestlers being in a death match, obviously, but I feel like there's a mild undertone where the referee can get hurt in that type of scenario. What was it like,
Oh,
refereeing a death match?
going into your first, if once you do a couple, you kind of know what to expect, but going to your first one, you just don't really know. There's a lot of hidden things you don't think about. I remember I finished reffing a deathmatch tournament, and I remember hitting the 3 count, and I was like, what's in my hand? And I look, and there's thumbtacks in my hand. Like sometimes you got to sweep before you count, or you got to watch where things are, where weapons are. I've counted pins and piles of glass by accident, and I'm like, I have to count here, and I just slamming your hand in glass. And you always got to be prepared with the rubber gloves because you're gonna get blood, and that's a hazard. But yeah, it's definitely a different component to refereeing a death match compared to a normal match.
Definitely sounds a lot more dangerous than you would expect.
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. Now can you tell us about your relationship with Justin Cider? It kind of seems like you were frenemies. Sometimes you're friends, sometimes you're enemies, sometimes you're tag team partners, sometimes you're not.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mixed story. We're either friends or we're not. Depends how we're feeling. But in the end, that guy, me and him kind of came up together, and sometimes we have disagreements and we got to fight it out, and other times we get along. But yeah, he's basically like the Sami Zayn to my Kevin Owens,
I love that.
I was his first match. He was like my second match, and he was in like a third of my matches all year last year. Like we're just always somehow intertwined together in some capacity. So, just works out that way sometimes.
So is that something you kind of like, that you're in there with somebody familiar, and you're building a repertoire with him? Or is it also kind of frustrating, like, put me with somebody different?
It's not really frustrating. Like, I don't think it is at all. You know, it's really nice to know that you're going to be in the ring with someone you know so well, because you know sometimes you just look at each other and be like, we got it.
Oh yeah.
When you build up that natural chemistry with someone, it makes everything else so much easier. And Justin Cider is that person for me. We can just look at each other and know what we're going to do. And there's not many people I can do that with. Probably just him, if anything. So yeah, it definitely helps to be in the ring with someone so often. And then, you know, it also builds a great bond with you and the other guy because you're trusting each other to not drop each other on your head every night.
Did you trust him in the match against Jade and Scarlett?
Uh, he wasn't really into it. I was trying to get him into it, but he just wouldn't listen to me, and that's why we lost. He had to hesitate. I still blame him for that.
But you rightfully so.
Yeah. Like, you just had to punch her in the face, dude. That's all you had to do.
You once wore his ring gear in the match as well?
Yeah, it was our very first time tagging together, actually, and I didn't want to do it. I did not want to be his tag partner. We really hated each other at that time. And he's like, come on, man, it'll be fun. And I'm like, I don't want to wear your ring gear, man. And he's like, no, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I'm like, fine, if you will shut up about it. And he goes through the curtain. He's like, come on. I'm like, no. And he's like, come on. And come out. And I'm just in Justin Cider gear and just wanting to crawl in a hole because I'm looking like Justin Cider. I don't compliment those shorts. He can pull them off, but I can't.
So we'll never see Charlie Joseph in just, the trunks ring gear?
I think I got to work on the tan on my legs before I switch to trunks.
I don't know.
Don't want to be blinding people.
Well, I mean, maybe that's an advantage. You pull
You're
up the
right.
pants, blindness, win.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's a new strategy. Oh, I'm about to win so many matches now.
Well, one match I found interesting that you competed in was the cage match for the Armstrong Metal Fest Championship.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that match?
That match there was a very distinct energy to it because Armstrong Metal Fest, that is a crowd that is a lot different from any other normal wrestling crowd. They're there for metal and metal music and just rocking and having a great time. And then they come out from the concert and they see a cage match and they're just, they're out for blood already. They're just in the pit and they're just coming out there and they're ready for it. And being in that cage is also something else too. You just look around and you're like, okay, there's no way out of here. I gotta climb out. And the chain link isn't fun, not at all. Yeah, steel cage matches are, especially at Metal Fest. That was just the right formula for just a crazy match.
I mean, I could imagine you took an insane bump. Maybe. And I was just like, ooh. On the sleeper hold. It seemed like he just dropped you onto the table. Is that accurate?
Yeah, he basically just choked me unconscious and then just pushed my lifeless body off the top.
Ooh.
It's nice when you're coming to as you're falling through the air and you're like, oh, there's a table right there. Boom, you're just through the table.
Well, that does beg the question, will we see you compete for the Metal Fest Championship again?
Oh, for sure. I'm not stopping until I get that title.
Alright. That's what we like to hear.
Oh, yeah.
We talked a little bit about Thrash Wrestling already. I noticed that they do the commentary over the loudspeaker so the crowd could hear it. Is it distracting as a wrestler to hear what the commentators are saying while you're in the match?
It's actually you would think it might be distracting, but it's actually not that distracting at all. When you're in there, sometimes it can even be beneficial. But yeah, the live commentary does have its ups and downs. A lot of wrestlers, when they come to our locker room and they see that we do live commentary, a lot of them start off like, "This is different. No one really does this." Like, and we're like, "Yeah, it sets us apart." And it definitely also helps getting the crowd into it too, because sometimes you just gotta, give the crowd a little bit of guidance, especially when you're, wrestling in a new town that doesn't get wrestling often. You kind of have to walk them through it. And the live commentary is definitely beneficial, and I'm surprised that more promotions, honestly, that don't do it or do it. Don't do it.
Right, because I've only known maybe one or two other companies that have done it. And it's definitely interesting. And I completely see your point. Well, if somebody's not familiar with wrestling, it's a good way to introduce them to it, especially on the
Yeah.
independent level.
Yeah, like, say you gotta, both of you are down, and the guy in commentary can be like, "Come on, guys, give it up for them. They're giving it their all for you." And then they're like, "Yeah," and then you just start rising up again. And yeah, it's definitely beneficial in that way. It definitely can guide a crowd not familiar to wrestling to know what to do, per se.
Interesting. Right. Now, I understand wanting to wrestle, but why do you need to wrestle Joey Janela?
Because I feel like he's my long lost brother. For some reason, we just have the exact. I feel like I've done his gimmick by accident. I just take dumb bumps and wear pit vipers and don't grow the best facial hair. So I'm
Your
pretty
facial
sure.
hair is a lot better than Joey Janela's.
I mean, maybe. We'll have to look at a picture again.
But there is the fact that he's probably burnt most of it off doing
Yeah.
bio gimmicks.
Yeah.
So is Joey Janela the goal right now?
I mean, it's just more of like a joke in my Instagram right now, but I obviously would not turn that down at all. The realistic goals, I guess you could say, are just a lot of top level guys here in the PNW, like Golden Boy, Travis Williams, Judas Icarus,
Yeah.
State of Emergency, Artemis Spencer. A lot of people in the PNW, and even people in Alberta, like Michael Richard Blaze, Harlan Abbott. A lot of people regionally that are on the goal list that are attainable for now, at least.
I mean, Joey Janela still does some independence. I feel like it's an obtainable goal.
Oh yeah, just got to get the promoter to book it.
Oh yeah, exactly. Now, can you tell us about dressing as wrestlers for Halloween for maybe possibly the last 5 to 7 years?
Yeah, I mean, if I love wrestling so much, I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna be a wrestler for Halloween, and then it's almost like a dartboard. Just throw it at the dartboard. Who am I gonna be? And yeah, like 1 year as John Cena, 1 year as Dean Ambrose, 1 year as Kevin Owens, 1 year as a Young Buck, another year as Macho Man, and then this year, well, I guess last year technically now, I was I was like The Rock in 1998 when he had the turtleneck on and the fanny pack. So yeah, I'm just like, all right, how well can I replicate this costume? I already got plans for next year. I might do like Shawn Michaels.
Ooh.
We'll see.
What's version of Shawn Michaels?
Sorry?
Which version of Shawn Michaels?
I don't know.
Because you got
Yeah, I don't know.
Rockers, 96 Shawn Michaels, 97 Shawn Michaels, 2002.
I'm feeling like 90. No, what was which one was it where he fought Razor Ramon at SummerSlam? That one.
That's 93.
Yeah, and that one. Be that Shawn Michaels.
94. My bad. 94.
Ah.
Yes, getting my years
Yeah.
mixed up. Right. Can you tell us about being followed by a goat?
Man, you really do your research.
Yes.
Yeah, so one time I was walking to my buddy's place. He lives down the road from me, and keep in mind, this is in like an urban area, like within city limits. Like I am in a city, and I'm just walking down the street, going to my buddy's house, and I see this like animal move in the corner of my eye. And in his like split second, my fight or flight kicks in, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to like fight this huge freaking dog right now. I don't want to, but I guess I'm fighting a dog. And then I like my eyes like adjust like 0.2 seconds later, and I'm like, that's a goat. And the thing just like followed me to my buddy's house, and then like halfway there, like we didn't get all the way there, but halfway there, I like start petting it, and then he like jumps on his hind legs. I'm like, oh, he's getting giddy, and then he just headbutts me right in the hip. Oh my god, that hurt so much. And then this lady drives by, and she's like, "Is that your goat?" And I'm like, "Totally, yeah. I just taken my goat for a walk." And anyways, I forget how, but she like ended up pulling over and called the police on the goat. The police showed up. Yeah, you had to be there. This doesn't even seem like a real story now that I tell it. And the police show up, and Buddy gets on his his walkie-talkie, and he's like, whoever, can I get my partner down here?" And then he's like, "I just called for my partner. He hates animals. Last August, he was chased by a llama." And then the other partner rolls up, and the cop and the first cop that showed up, he's like, "Oh, you're gonna love this, man. I called you out just for it." And he sees the goat and just sighs. He's like, and then he's like, "Come on, go wrangle him up." So like the guy who's afraid of animals is trying to wrangle up the goat, and the cop is just filming it. And he's like, "You got it. Come on, you got it. Just get in there more." And like he's just filming his partner be semi-terrified by this goat. And then they get it in the cop car. He like ends the video, and he like puts his phone back in his pocket, and he's like, "Yep, that's going in the group chat." And then the cop that was afraid of the goat was like putting his fist through the bars in because they put the goat in the back of the cop car. And he's like putting his fist through the bars in the back window, just like is headbutting it, and then the goat just gives one good headbutt to his hand. And he's like, "Oh!" We all just start laughing at him. And he's like, "That's enough from you," and puts the window up. And apparently, that goat spent overnight in a holding cell and then got taken up by a ranch the next day. So I guess I got a goat sent to jail. I guess should have been roaming around by himself. I guess.
Do they not have animal control where you are?
Yeah, we do have animal control, but I guess that lady just thought cops were the first thing to come to mind.
I guess. But I mean, being followed by a goat, did you take that as maybe a sign that you would be the greatest of all time?
I have thought about that. I think that's just going to be something we find out with time. But probably.
And I am interested. Have you come across this goat again?
No, I haven't. I think about him sometimes.
Yeah. Definitely an interesting story.
Yeah, it's not every day that happens.
No. Alright. You are exceptional. What do you find exceptional?
Well, that depends what the subject is. I mean, I'm exceptional in every single aspect and way because I am the exception to the rule. Because there's always an exception to the rule, and that is me. But, it's subjective.
Well, let's take wrestling out of the equation. Do you find exceptional? Maybe that goat?
I mean, I think he was just kind of a free spirit. I do find, outside of wrestling, I'm totally into cars and just everything that involves motorsport, so that's pretty exceptional.
Mm. And what do you find unexceptional?
Taxes. Yeah, basically just taxes. And Tuesdays. People say Mondays suck, but Tuesdays are worse.
Kind of prefer Tuesdays.
To me, Tuesday means, okay, this week is actually happening. I have to do this. Monday is like, okay, yeah, it's the start of the week, whatever. Tuesday, it's like, okay, this is happening. All right.
Yeah, there's no.
And for some reason, Tuesdays just always suck for me. It's just always a bad day. Every Tuesday without fail. So yeah, Tuesdays are unexceptional.
Now, when you mentioned cars, is one of those cars the Plymouth Superboard?
That is a very exceptional car. So fast it got banned by NASCAR. Superbird is nice. I mean, I think the Superbird and the Dodge Daytona are like the same thing basically, but definitely exceptional if you're breaking rule. If NASCAR is banning you for being too fast, I don't feel like should be a problem.
I mean, that kind of seems redundant. That a car is too fast for NASCAR.
Yeah, the car is too fast for NASCAR.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But
I mean, I get safety regulations and stuff, but still, it doesn't want to go fast, man.
Is that your dream car?
I mean, I wouldn't mind one. Don't really have a dream car per se. Just kind of roll with whatever I like.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that brings us to our next segment. Charlie Joseph's Bizarre Adventure. You're a pro wrestler that goes up and down the roads and weird, crazy, bizarre things sometimes happen. Can you tell us a road story that fits that description?
Whew, I've probably forgotten more than I remember right now, and I'm only 5 years in. Let's see. There's a lot. Not so much. Yeah, not so much a road story, but it's happened multiple times on the road, I guess you could say, in different towns. Wrestler by the name of Danny Deeds has been psychologically torturing me with milk duds for the last 4 years. It started off innocently of just me eating a box of milk duds, and it's turned into just so many ribs in so many places. Like, I go to the venue in Kelowna, and there's milk duds scattered around the venue. Like, just a milk dud here, a milk dud there. And, like, a ripped up box. Or, one time we're literally in a match, and Danny Dees is doing his entrance, and he wears a fanny pack to the ring. And he's, beaking off the crowd. They're booing him, and he's like, "Look what I got in here, Mr. Ref." And he, opens up the flap on his fanny pack, and it's a box of milk duds. And then one time I got a little inebriated, and I bought the entire display box that they put on the shelf at 7-Eleven. I just took the entire box and bought it. I bought $36 worth of milk duds, and then they went missing the next day. And Danny Deeds swore on his life that he did not have them this time, and he did not take it, and he was not a part of it. And then about a week later, he films a promo, and in the background on his kitchen table is all 12 boxes of milk duds. He just does not stop. Danny Deeds is a master ribber. But yeah, I guess that's not really a road story. That's just more ribs in general. But the road has been somewhat calm.
And that's interesting because we've heard some pretty bizarre road stories, especially up in the Canada area.
Oh yeah, I've heard a few too. I know at least every wrestler has at least one wild road story. I could probably think of one if I really thought about it, but you'd be sitting here for 20 minutes just listening to me hum.
Well, if you come up with something while we continue talking, feel free to bring it up.
Sounds good.
All right. Can you tell us about not being on Twitter for almost a decade?
Yeah, I had a Twitter account when I was 11, 10, 11, because, why not? I don't think 10-year-olds should be on Twitter, but
Definitely not.
Yeah, I just had it 10 years ago for 3 months, just was always using it, and then I just lost my account, and then I was like, just didn't really use Twitter. I didn't really find it that great. And then about 6 months ago, I think, I made Twitter for Charlie Joseph because, you know, when you're a wrestler, you need to do networking, you need to do social media, all that stuff. So I got Twitter, and I still almost never use it. So nothing's changed. Especially after Elon Musk bought it. Once Elon Musk bought Twitter, I've just stopped using it too.
Well, you know, I prefer Twitter over Instagram because you just send out random tweets and it's text rather than pictures. So that's always been my go-to. And I'm usually not on Instagram that often.
Oh yeah, I'm the other way around. I like looking at pictures. I don't like reading.
I get that.
Yeah.
Alright. Can you tell us about participating in the Shakespeare Festival?
Oh yeah. Wow, you are really good at this. Yeah. So my grade 12 acting class. There's a festival that festival that happens in Vernon every year called the Shakespeare Festival. And it's a lot of schools in BC come to Vernon for these 3 or 4 days of the festival, and it's just, you know, the acting department and drama department of all these high schools. They come together, and you know, we do different workshops. Like one of them was a dance workshop, another one was like stage building, camera work, facial work, and just a whole bunch of different aspects to acting and all that stuff. And I was in charge of like 70 kids. My teacher was like, I'm going to put you in charge of this group. And I'm like, please don't. She's like, no, you're a great leader. And I was like, I don't want to be a leader. But I had to be a leader. And I was in charge of like 70 kids for like 4 days. Thank God they all behaved. I mean, I would hope they would behave. We're all grade 12. But yeah, Shakes Fest was a fun time. And also it kind of gave me things I translated into wrestling. Like the facial work and all that stuff.
Definitely. And I think you're leaving one part out as well. You performed All the World to Stage?
Yeah, we did. I actually forgot about that. I did something in it. I read lines, and it went off fine, as far as I can quite vaguely remember. But yeah, we did do that. That was each school had their acting department do a play performance thing. At the end of every day, there'd be an hour of performances, and all the schools would meet back at the Performing Arts Center, and we all just watch them.
Now, was you did theater in school?
Sorry?
You did theater in school in
Yeah,
acting.
I was the drama kid in grade 8, 9, 11, and 12.
Was acting ever a field or goal you had before wrestling?
It just kind of fell alongside with wrestling because, you know, wrestling's a lot of things. It's physically demanding, and you also have to, you know, be putting on this persona at the same time. You're acting, you're stage fighting, you're doing all these things at once. And I felt like doing drama and acting in school would have given me a bit of an edge for character work, would have got me more comfortable doing stuff like that. And it definitely helped a lot. I don't think I'd be able to do the character work that I do if I wasn't in drama and acting for that long. The only reason I went into it was because I was like, yeah, this will help with wrestling, and it definitely did. You know, I see a lot of people struggle with character work, or they just can't like get into this zone of what they're trying to do with this persona. And I feel like all that experience from doing acting and drama classes for almost 5 years definitely helped with being able to do what I need to do as a character when I'm in the ring.
Absolutely love that you got into acting just for the pro wrestling benefits.
Literally, that's the only reason why.
I love that. Alright. it's a time for the colossal question. They're making a movie about Charlie Joseph. It's gonna be a big.
Oh no.
It's gonna be a big blockbuster. Big names are going to be signed up to produce it. Every movie has a soundtrack. What would be the first three songs on the Charlie Joseph music movie soundtrack up to this point?
I'm gonna say "Ain't Gonna Die Tonight" by Macklemore because I come out to that song as my entrance song.
Okay.
"The Man" by the Killers. That third one's hard. I never. Probably "The Outside" by 21 Pilots.
Okay.
Yeah. That's my third one for sure.
All right, I dig it. That's a solid three picks. Do you lock it in?
Yeah.
All right. Now that we got the soundtrack, because you build the soundtrack before you write the script, and then you cast it. Who would play Charlie Joseph? And you can't say yourself because you're obligated to make a Stanley-esque cameo.
Who would play me? Oh, okay. 1993 Brad Pitt, easily. Brad Pitt, but in 1993.
Okay.
Because that's when he had the long blonde hair.
Now we cast Charlie. Who's three people that would be in your movie, and who would play them?
Ooh.
I feel like Justin has to be one of them, right?
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's kind of hard to think about who would play these people. I never really thought of that. Yeah, Justin would be in there. I feel like Bill Burr could play him. It'd be fine. It'd work. Slave would definitely be in there. The homicidal maniac, the patriarch of thrash. Oh man, who would play him? Yeah, we might have to have a casting call for this movie to see who fits.
That's fair enough. We could get a casting director. Let the director decide.
Yeah. But yeah, probably Justin, Slave, and Jade. Those three, but I don't know who they play. Who would play them.
Okay.
Definitely just, let the director decide on that one.
Now, on to our next part. You are a Canadian from Canada, so these are exclusive questions for Canadians from Canada. We love.
I'm gonna stop you right there. I am actually not a comedian.
Oh, you're not Canadian?
No.
Oh,
I mean, I'm a funny guy, but I'm not a comedian, no.
not comedian, Canadian.
Oh, sorry. This call is a little raspy at times.
Can you deny or confirm that you are Canadian?
I am totally red, white, maple leafed Canadian.
We are foodies on Wrestling with Entertainment. Where is the best place to get poutine in Canada?
Oh, that's a good one. Honestly, it's the hole in the wall places, like the mom and pop places that make the best poutine. There's a place in Kelowna, and I think it's their only location, or they got two locations, I think. But they're a poutineery. They only specialize in poutine, and they have every option of poutine you can think of, and it's always so good. Forget the name of it right now, but yeah, it's a poutineery in Kelowna. It's local. But yeah, if you want to get the best poutine, just search for those hole in the wall mom and pop shop places that sell poutine, because they're always the best.
That's interesting. We haven't got the mom and pop places yet. Usually it's just a poutineery.
Oh yeah.
Alright, and the second question, is Ryan Reynolds Canada's greatest national treasure?
Oh, by far, easily.
Nobody else
We need
competes.
No, we need to protect him at all costs.
All right. Now on to a controversial subject. Pineapple on pizza. What's your stance?
Yes. Obviously, yes. Oh my God. People who don't like pineapple on pizza have the palate of a 6-year-old. It's sweet and savory. They complement each other. If you don't like the pineapple, just pick it off. I will die on the pineapple on Pizza Hill.
I feel like you've had this conversation before.
Many times, and I'm apparently always on the wrong side of the conversation.
Depending on who
But
you
I'm
ask.
correct. Yeah.
Right. What's your spirit Pokemon?
I don't know. Be like a mix of a lot of things. You know, just be some sort of weird mystical, like chupacabra thing.
So you would be a legendary Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
Alright. I dig it. We love the late great Tracy Smothers on the show. Do you know the acronym for Doug? THUG.
No.
T is for terrible, H is for hell, U is for ugly, and G is for jail, because a Doug can't spell.
Sounds like it.
Yes. We love Tracy trying to keep the memory alive. Alright. What is question you'll be asked on a wrestling interview? Would you ever consider wrestling a rock? Not Dwayne Johnson, not the country, an actual rock.
Oh yeah, I'll put the Rock over. Me and that Rock will do amazing things. I will totally wrestle a Rock. If Triple H can wrestle a broomstick in Toronto, I can wrestle a Rock.
Well, I love that. Because there was a wrestler named Psycho Mike that wrestled an actual rock for over 15 minutes in a Tungsten Man match, an Iron Man match that lasted for 2 weeks.
That's endurance right there.
Yes, absolutely. He
I
didn't
love
win
to
though.
see the final fall. Oh, what? Wow.
They tied, and because The Rock was the champion, he retained.
Of course.
Yeah, yes. I love that stipulation, though.
Yep.
Alright, on a more serious note, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. I don't want I guess this isn't too far, like too much of wishful thinking, but it's still kind of a stretch. I think in 5 years, I want to at least have been, on a worldwide stage, like something like AEW Dark or you know enhancement talent on Raw or something, like an extra on Raw or something. I know I'm probably not going to be getting contracts in 5 years. When you're a wrestler, it's like being a doctor. When you want to be a doctor, you have to go to school for 10 years. So if you want to get on those big stages, you have to work around and get your name out there. And I think that in 5 years, I would like to at least be on like AEW Dark or an extra on Raw and just have those like little spots on the big promotions. Maybe get on one of the big, maybe be able to go to Defy all the time. Maybe get on Impact because I know they're Canadian now. Stuff like that, nothing too big, but still big.
No, definitely. Sometimes that extra work in WWE, can be big and lucrative, moments in somebody's career.
Yeah, like look at James Ellsworth. He was just supposed to be squashed by Braun Strowman in 2 minutes, and that would be it. No one would ever think about him again. But then he made himself look so everyone loved him.
Oh yeah, and now he, alienated himself from the world.
Yeah, did that to himself.
Yeah. But no, we've had people that were security guards for Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar. So I mean, extra work for two of the biggest wrestlers in the world today.
Yeah.
Alright. What is a match people should go out of their way to see that best shows off what Charlie Joseph is all about?
Probably myself and Justin Cider versus the Vixen Jade and Scarlett Black. That is one of my favorite matches, and I think that totally encapsulates that word. It totally defines Charlie Joseph.
Can we find out on YouTube?
You can find it on YouTube on the Hug You Bear Seriously YouTube channel. They are one of our media people who upload almost every match from every show. We got a few media people. We have the Dojo 3000. That guy is always coming around to shows and filming all our matches for us, putting them on YouTube, editing them, making them look nice. Same with Huggy Bear Seriously, and they work with multiple cameras, so we have different angles, and they just put it all together and edit it. And we thankfully have such dedicated fans that will put out media for us so we can watch our matches back like the next day.
That's absolutely awesome that they do that, and from multiple angles as well.
Yeah, like we had the show yesterday in Penticton. We set up a steel cage, and one of the Huggy Bear Seriously members was trying to, rig a GoPro into the corner of the cage, but he couldn't get it to work. But yeah, like one of them had a roaming camera, one of them had a roaming camera. They're going to try and get the GoPro in the cage. Like they get a lot of angles, and it's great.
That's awesome. I will find that match on YouTube, and I will put it in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox, for anybody that hasn't seen it, wants to see it again after this interview.
I'll probably see it again. I'll watch it for the 38th time.
Well, you don't have to wait long, since we are nearing the conclusion of this interview. We are wrestling with the 8 questions of doom.
Dun, dun, dun.
This is our speed run, our bonus round around where we say review mini art. Are you ready?
I don't know. I'm nervous.
Alright, well, we'll start.
I don't know. I'm nervous. Okay, let's do it.
Excluding yourself, greatest wrestler of all time.
Before he was a jerk at the media scrum, CM Punk.
Worst wrestler.
What's his name from? He was in WCW in the late 90s. Mongo, I think.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mongo
yeah.
McMichaels.
Yeah. I mean, bless his soul, rest in peace, but I watch his matches to feel better about my own wrestling.
I don't think he died.
I swear I heard he died.
Well,
if I'm wrong, I hope he's alive and well and healthy.
I'm gonna have to check that. But I think he was in bad health, I know, but I didn't see that he died. But
well, hopefully not.
For the longest time, he was actually a default answer.
Okay.
Yeah, we had to change it to Eva Marie when he fell in bad health. We thought it was in poor taste. Alright, your main eventing WrestleMania for the World Championship. Who was your opponent?
Seth Rollins. For sure.
If you could come out to anyone's entrance music, past or present, who would it be?
Drew McIntyre's Broken Dreams.
Sweet. Finish the sentence. Kayfabe is...
I feel like I should pick this word carefully. I don't know. Half alive.
Interesting. We would have also accepted taste great on toast.
Yeah?
Squash. Fruit or vegetable?
Oh, man. It's a vegetable. It's totally a vegetable.
It is totally a fruit.
I'll die on the vegetable hill.
Well, you are now officially a part of Squash Squad, and that means a hell of a lot more.
Sweet.
Alright, New Japan wrestler Taichi, his ring gear gets smaller every year, revealing more of himself to the world. My question, what is the appropriate trunks to butt cheek ratio for ring gear?
It's just make sure they're covered, man. That's all you should worry about. You don't need two small trunks. Just keep it covered.
Make sure everything's covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need any cheeks poking out. Just cover it all. Just wear bicycle shorts.
And the last question, the main event, the thing everybody wants to know. Have you ever had a conversation with a stranger in a supermarket about Darby Allin?
Yeah, I've had that exact kind. No, I haven't. No, not at all.
And that is the correct answer.
Yes.
And that will conclude this interview. Thank you so much, Charlie, for coming on and doing this with me.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a great time, and definitely learned a lot on my first interview.
And we love being the first. You always remember your first.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, where can we find you on social media once again?
You can find me on Instagram at exceptional_CJ, on Twitter at exceptional_CJ. I'm on Facebook as the Exceptional Charlie Joseph. And that's about all my media.
Alright. And all of those links will be in the description of the video below, but on YouTube and Castbox. Don't need to type it into your Google machine. Simply click the link in the description. A new tab will appear on whatever device you're on. You have no excuse. Give them a damn follow.
Yeah.
Of course, thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new interviews. Follow us on Twitter at WRESTLINGWITHE for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and a hell of a lot more. And on Instagram at WRESTLINGWITHE as well. You can follow me personally at JamesJ993. You can follow Scooter at ScooterDust, and on the Remix, the only live alternative commentary for WWE PLEs on YouTube. Alright, Charlie, when I say wrestling wit, you say entertainment, okay?
Sounds good.
For our very special guest, Charlie Joseph, Kaliko Yacht, Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with
Entertainment.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.